In today's video, we are continuing our Marvel Cinematic Universe coverage, predominantly focusing on Thor Love and Thunder. So, if you haven't already, check out our video we did yesterday, which is a non-spoiler review for the Batman movie that's coming out later this week. Very cool movie. So, if you are new around here, make sure to subscribe to never miss any of the videos. Check us out on Instagram at Warstu if you want to see the beautiful face behind the voice. But more importantly, subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on, comment 500 times, share the video. It really does help the channel out long term. And also check us out on Twitter, WarstuG, because I got like 5 followers over there on Twitter and we're trying to grow a community. So check us out over there. So I was sent this. This is allegedly the final act of Thor Love and Thunder, like the actual ending and that kind of stuff. So careful for spoilers, but I don't think it's real, but it is fascinating and it does have a lot of the same thought processes that I've been going through, and also it realistically can be backed up with a bunch of information we already have. And allegedly we have Gorr's origin, which isn't actually what I thought it was going to be. If that is true, like I say, you've also always got to take these kind of content and this kind of coverage with a pinch of salt. Also, there is a new toy out for Thor Love and Thunder, which basically confirms a kind of villain in this movie, which is pretty fascinating, to be honest. And we haven't really gone over the Lego sets, but the Lego sets basically just confirm Knull's sword, the Necrosword. It confirms that the god of the symbiotes is coming, and it's all leading to a secret wars. There's actually a bunch of information, and there's a bunch of new toys being released for Thor in multiple different costumes, attire, which doesn't really mean that's going to make it to the final act, the final movie, essentially. So at the moment, this movie comes out to July the 8th. Now, there is some scoopers on good old Twitter trying to claim the trailer could have come out on Monday. It's now Tuesday afternoon, and like I said, it would not come out yesterday with the Morbius trailer, although no one cares for that trailer, even though they tried to pull you in with Michael Keaton. Vulture MCU, is it him, isn't it him? It's clearly him. No one cares for Michael Keaton. No one cares. So the movie comes out in July, so yes, we are under 5 months till Thor Love and Thunder, and yes, the trailer is overdue, but Spider-Man No Way Home, the world we live in, realistically, they don't really start ramping up marketing until 3 months out. But with the Lego sets and the toys coming out, it tells you they really want to push this movie. And as we know, there will be multiversal storylines in this movie, potentially. So firstly, we're gonna go over the potential Gorr's origin. So apparently, this is what happens. So what Surtur did in Ragnarok, aka Thor 3, both him and Hela survived. They fell through some kind of wormhole that Loki fell into, essentially. The energy caused by the destruction of Asgard, with the mix of the energy of the wormhole, they were burst to the time and place where Gorr is. Hela and Surtur will still be fighting in the presence of Gorr. Hela will throw her sword near Gorr, wounding Surtur. Gorr will notice this and go to the sword, grab it. Surtur does the same thing to Gorr's world as he did to Asgard, but because of the power of the sword, he survives, thus beginning his war on the gods, which is interesting because there's been lots of hypotheses and lots of theories and lots of potential leaks that Hela destroyed Gorr's world, and that's why Gorr wants to take out all the gods. So we don't know what's true, but that does sound pretty fascinating if this is the case. So the alleged third act goes like this. Thor and Jane, I mean, it's a bit out of whack because we haven't got act 1 and act 2, but I thought we should go over this. So allegedly it goes like this. So it confirms that Eitri, played by Peter Dinklage, aka the person that doesn't want anyone else to work in his field, pretty much. So it goes like this. Eitri wishes them success. Meanwhile, everyone else is waiting. Sif, Korg, Meek, Darcy, and Valkyrie fend off the Dark Elves, but convince them to join their cause by rewarding them with a new home in New Asgard. Jane Foster uses Mjolnir, I've said that wrong on purpose just to make you comment, to summon the lightning, knowing it will attract Gorr. As Gorr arrives, he reminds the Dark Elves of Thor and how Malekith died, and they betrayed him to join Gorr. Darcy sets off a sonic boom weapon, but the Necrosword senses danger, teleports Gorr behind the weapon out of range. Gorr hacks up the weapon, rendering it useless. Angry Thor runs up to Gorr and attempts to behead him with Stormbreaker, but fails. Gorr stabs Thor right in the heart with a Necrosword, killing him. Gorr is finally happy after killing the last god, but the Necrosword convinces Gorr to kill everyone else opposing him as punishment for their insolace. Suddenly, Thor wakes up in an unfamiliar place, a beautiful planet with gold palaces and a vast cosmic forest. Confused, Thor turns around and hears voices he recognizes. Odin, and Freya, Loki, Hela, Heimdall, Valkyries, Warstu, and the warriors, they are all present. Thor realizes he must be in Valhalla. Thor confronts Hela and Odin over their actions. They express guilt. Odin explains why Thor exists. He can be better than his ancestors, which is what Odin always wanted. Odin then goes on to tell Thor his own strength and that his ancestors were passed down. Thor's body starts to slowly degenerate, and Freya explains that he is not fully dead and someone is trying to resurrect him. They are able to help Thor fight, but he must return after. Jane holds Thor's body, trying to use Mjolnir to resurrect him. Thor wakes up and yanks the sword out of his chest. Suddenly, in a huge lightning blast, everyone in Valhalla shows up and they charge against the Dark Elves and Gorr. Not like the portal scene in Avengers Endgame, Odin and Hela apologize to Gorr, but he does not forgive them. Since they are both spirits from Valhalla, he can't kill them. The fight rages on. One of the largest, if not the largest scale battle we've ever seen in the MCU, which is pretty damn cool if this is real, but we've got to read it like it's real or else there's no point actually going over it. Time begins to run out and everyone is dead from Valhalla. Disappears right as the good guys start to gain the upper hand. As Gorr is about to kill Jane, she uses her reality altering powers to create an illusion. Gorr sees his wife, who shames him. In your quest to cleanse the universe of gods, you've become the worst, more vengeful than the gods yourself. Your desire for revenge has made you stoop down below their level. In honor, Gorr realizes what's happened and the truth. He apologizes to everyone and Thor promises to do better, and be a freaking maverick. Okay, I just made that maverick part up. Gorr destroys the Necrosword, which kills himself along the way, and with it. In the aftermath, the Dark Elves forgive Thor and agree to go back there. Valkyrie and Sif share a kiss, whilst Thor and Jane fly off into space. Okay, now we get into potential post-credit scenes. Maybe. I don't know if I believe this though. In space, Thor and Jane encounter a ship they do not recognize. It turns out to be members from the recent movie, The Eternals. And essentially, it's setting them up on a mission for Thor and Jane to appear in Eternals 2. Personally, I don't think there's going to be Eternals 2, if I'm honest. Now, the next post-credit scene actually is fascinating, but I would prefer this to happen during the movie. So, the actual post-credit scene. A cage match on a planet. Grandmaster introduces the new fighter, Beta Ray Bill. Now, I do get asked a lot of times per day, is Beta Ray Bill going to show up in this movie? I don't know. It'd make a lot of sense if he did. Turning up a post-credit scene would be such a cool way to do it, and it also would be a good stinger. Now, the part where it says Gorr destroys the Necrosword, in doing so, killing himself along with it. No, I don't believe that, because obviously the Necrosword is linked to Knull. Knull is the god of the symbiote. It's all building up to introducing Knull long term. He is going to be a very badass boss. Now, I can't confirm or deny if any of this is true, but I really do like the part where it says he goes to Valhalla because he's dead in theory at the point, and we get Freya, Odin, Hela, Heimdall, Warstu, etc. That part was really cool. I really do hope that's true. So let me know, guys, do you think that's true? Is that the post-credit scene? Is Beta Ray Bill in the post-credit scene? So there's a website called cosmiccircus.com that's getting a bit trendy on Twitter, and they posted this article with the headline. Okay, we're going to discontinue that first word because it's not an exclusive. It's actually come from a Twitter post. So it says, Thor Love and Thunder, new mysterious monster. And to be honest, I've looked at all the tweet replies to this. It does look like Fing Fang Foom. It does look like Loki, which is hilarious, but essentially it does look pretty similar to the Black Berserkers, essentially, and it would make sense, to be honest. The Black Berserkers revealed in Thor Love and Thunder. That's what some people think it is. I couldn't work out who it is, but I will overlay an artwork right now which will show you essentially what it is. Gorr the God Butcher discovers he can use the all-black Necrosword to essentially manifest semi-sentient being creatures dubbed as the Black Berserkers, kind of how Hela called some beings when she used her version of Necrosword, but apparently it really wasn't the Necrosword that she had, although it kind of looked like it. So this is pretty cool. We got a new kind of Black Berserkers, although there was some kind of version of beings that looked like this during Thor Ragnarok, which is pretty cool. So Thor Love and Thunder Thor 4 set reveals the god of the symbiote himself, Knull. Now, when these Lego sets come out, I was sent to a bunch of Instagram, YouTube, TikTok tweets of people going, we have our first look at Gorr the God Butcherer. Guys, do better. Please do better. This is not a first look at Gorr the God Butcherer. It's a first look at a Lego set. The Necrosword is there. Yes, it's Knull's sword. Yes, he is the god of the symbiotes, the essence of the symbiotes. The sword was not only made with the same genetic material as Venom, it was also forged with the head of a celestial. And yes, Knull can take out Celestial like it's freaking nothing. Knull would snap Thanos' head like it's freaking nothing. Knull is coming. It's absolutely insane. So essentially, we do get kind of like an image from the comic book. Because if you look at the comic book, there's a scene where Gorr the God Butcherer has literally got Thor. And then if you look at the image on the toy set, it is literally the same image, which is really, really cool. So Gorr, the assassin of the gods, who will be wielding the all-black Necrosword known as Knull Sword. So confirmed, Knull is coming to the MCU at some point. So the Lego sets have titles, which I guess some people are really going to read too much into it, because as we know, with all these toy sets, it doesn't really mean much. So it's a boat, the God boat, essentially. First looks like Korg. We have a more significant presence after becoming a fan favorite. Now, we went over that plot leak and Korg was actually in that, so that could be true. Now, we have had it confirmed that Gorr the God Butcher is the villain, killing all the gods. We know that Zeus is going to be in it, played by Russel Crowe, so it would be very fascinating. Now, you could break these Lego sets down massively, but realistically, other than seeing the Necrosword, and they are doing tours of New Asgard, there is some set photos as well, which does back that up, and it is freaking interesting when you think about this Necrosword coming into play, because we have Whitman in the Eternals post-credit scene who touched the ebony blade, which gave off a strange symbiote-looking shimmer. Knull desperately wants that blade, so it'd be cool if Knull got the ebony sword and Knull got the Necrosword. That would be fascinating. So I'm actually more hyped for Thor: Love and Thunder than I am for Doctor Strange 2, because we know everything about Doctor Strange 2. We don't really know that much about this movie, do we? No. So based on the images, we've got a pretty good look at what Jane Foster's Thor suit and the Mjolnir is going to be sellotaped back together or glued back together. We've got a pretty good look at what it actually will look like to a certain degree. Now, we have a Titan Hero series come out. We have the blue vintage classical Thor suit, which, like I said, guys, realistically, I don't think it means anything. But if you look on Twitter, you'll see people reading far too much into that. So we've gone over the plot leak. Pretty interesting that how everything happens. We basically confirmed again for the 20th time that Knull is going to appear in this movie in the post-credit scene, but that's just what I think. I don't actually know if it's going to happen. So Beta Ray Bill in a post-credit scene, that would be pretty damn cool if that was the case. These Lego sets are interesting, but it doesn't really reveal much. It just reveals that Jane Foster Thor is going to have a fight with Gorr the God Butcherer, but the third act post-credit scene leak we went over literally says that Jane uses Mjolnir to summon lightning, knowing it will attract Gorr. So Gorr can sense when these powers are being used, it appears, from these kind of plot leaks. But yeah, we never know if these plot leaks are real or not. I read the comments and you guys actually love the plot leak videos. That's why I keep doing them. And also, there is a bit of a tidbit about the second act where it essentially says they will be either studying or going to Olympus. Going to Mount Olympus. I don't know why. I guess that's got something to do with Gorr trying to take out literally every god until he can try and take out Thor and Jane Foster Thor. We know neither of them are going to die, because essentially, if the post-credit scene is real, they are setting up them to appear in the Eternals movie, which for me makes absolutely no sense. Eitri Pika Dinklage is going to be in this movie. The King of the Dwarfs will appear, so that's presumably another reason how the Mjolnir comes back and how Jane uses it. We don't know, but that scene, it says that's on the level of the Endgame fight, and it's the biggest fight in the MCU ever. God, that would be freaking savage. So like always, guys, yeah, the Doctor Strange 2 video is coming, but I wanted to break it up with my Batman review. Make sure to check it out and break it up with Thor: Love and Thunder video. We've got so much more Doctor Strange 2 content coming up later this week. We've also got the Batman ending explained, spoilers, and all that kind of good stuff. I really do appreciate you guys checking out the Batman video yesterday. It did pretty good for a review for me. I'm not really known for reviews, but it's something I do want to do more of, more often. So like always, guys, check us out on Instagram. If you want to see the beautiful face behind the beautiful voice, also check us out on Twitter, WarstuG. Trying to get to 10 followers over there. That will be cool. Also, subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on, share the video everywhere, comment 500 times to the algorithm, and I will catch you in another video very soon. Catch you later.